matchup, Aces Fever Game 1. We're not deciding the whole series right now, just Game 1.
Should we do it together?
I think we should do it together
Okay.
because my spidey sense are telling me they might be the same. 3, 2, 1.
Aces.
They're not going to lose after she just won MVP.
Yeah, period.
There's no way.
Okay,
I see.
The unthinkable just happened. On the very night A'ja Wilson was crowned MVP in front of her home crowd, she turned the spotlight upside down, not with her performance, but with a jaw-dropping accusation. After the Las Vegas Aces collapsed against the Indiana Fever in Game 1 of the semifinals, Wilson didn't hold back. Her words, "This game was bought."
Well, one thing is very clear about the sports world. Man, sports fans overwhelmingly, for whatever reason, and my guess would be quite a few reasons, the sports world literally cannot stand A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson has won yet another MVP, and sports fans have done a Dikembe Mutombo no, in regards to giving a rat's ass.
That's right. The face of the WNBA, the reigning MVP, accused referees of rigging the outcome, and in doing so, she ignited one of the biggest scandals this league has ever seen.
Money Mitch, put him in a ditch! Who on the Las Vegas Aces is going to try to stop Kelsey Mitchell? Because from what I just saw, they had no answer for her. Kirsten Bell, line right up, smacked. Jackie Young, step right up, torched. Chelsea Gray, torched. Jewel Lloyd, torched. Nobody could hang with Kelsey Mitchell as she goes off.
But here's the question. Was this just raw frustration from being shut down? Or is Wilson hinting at something much darker about how this league is run? Stick around, because what you're about to hear will leave you questioning everything about the WNBA's credibility. Let's set the scene. The Indiana Fever were never supposed to be here. They rolled into Vegas, missing 6 players. Caitlin Clark sidelined, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Colson gone, Ari McDonald, Chloe Beebe, and Dawana Dantas all unavailable. Analysts laughed at their chances.
Matchup, Aces Fever Game 1. We're not deciding the whole series right now, just Game 1.
Should we do it together?
I think we should do it together
Okay.
because my spidey sense are telling me they might be the same. 3, 2, 1.
Aces.
They're not going to lose after she just won MVP.
Yeah, period.
There's no way. I see.
ESPN panels wrote them off before the ball even tipped. The sportsbooks, they practically begged people to bet on the Aces, expecting a clean sweep. And yet, against every odd stacked against them, the Fever stormed into Las Vegas and stunned the defending champions, 89-73.
And A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces lose Game 1 on their home court to the Indiana Fever, 89-73. The Indiana Fever were in control of this game from start to finish. There was a small little patch there in the third quarter. We started saying, are the Aces gonna come back? But Kelsey Mitchell and Odyssey Sims said no.
This was supposed to be A'ja Wilson's coronation night, championship banners hanging in the rafters, the crowd buzzing, cameras flashing as she lifted the MVP trophy. Everything pointed to Vegas dominating, but instead, the story flipped in real time. Kelsey Mitchell, a player constantly overlooked in league-wide conversations, erupted for 34 points, the highest scoring output in a Fever playoff game since 2012.
Off Mitchell, rise and fire. Good! Kelsey connects. Time out, Becky Hammond. Mitchell, MVP finalist. Uncorks, and puts it in.
She did it efficiently, relentlessly, and in every way possible. Mid-range daggers, deep threes, attacking the rim, and a flawless 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Caitlin Clark, watching injured from the sidelines, said it best with 2 simple words that went viral. Kelsey, unreal. And it wasn't just Mitchell. Aaliyah Boston went to war with Wilson in the paint, making the MVP grind for every single bucket. Lexi Hull turned Jackie Young into a non-factor. Odyssey Sims attacked like her career depended on it. Natasha Howard crashed the boards with fury, The Fever flipped the script in every single category they weren't supposed to win. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard told a shocking story. Fever 89, Aces 73. Indiana didn't just steal Game 1, they humiliated Vegas on their own floor.
The Indiana Fever won every single quarter in this game, except for the first 3 straight quarters of scoring 20 points or more, holding the Aces to under 20 points in 4 straight quarters. The third quarter, 28 points for the Indiana Fever. It was a 3-point game. The Aces were down 9, came back in the third quarter. 3-point game. The Indiana Fever closed it out, putting our pedal to the metal, foot on the gas, extending our lead to a point where Bree Hall, yes, Bree Hall got a minute in this game.
And that's when A'ja Wilson snapped. In her post-game remarks, Wilson didn't credit the Fever, she didn't take accountability. Instead, she looked directly at the cameras and accused the referees of fixing the outcome. Her words were sharp, angry, and unforgettable. This game was bought. Think about that for a second. The league's biggest star, the reigning MVP, essentially told the world that the WNBA semifinals are rigged. And here's why it matters. The WNBA is already under a microscope. Critics constantly claim it's propped up, struggling for credibility, fighting for respect on the national stage. So when your MVP accuses referees of corruption, that doesn't just sting. It detonates a bomb inside the league's image. Fans immediately erupted online. Some defended Wilson, saying the officiating was bizarre and tilted against Vegas. Others slammed her for disrespecting the Fever's effort, arguing she used the refs as a scapegoat for being shut down by Boston's defense. But let's be real, the accusation itself is the headline. When a player of Wilson's stature uses the words, "This game was bought," she's not just venting. She's suggesting the outcome of the semifinals wasn't legitimate, and that cuts right to the core of the league's credibility. So what actually drove Wilson to explode? For one, she was frustrated. Boston's defense forced her into contested shots all night long. She still posted 16 points and 13 rebounds, but it wasn't the effortless dominance everyone expected from an MVP. Every bucket was a battle, every rebound a grind. The rhythm she thrives on just wasn't there. And while Mitchell was torching Vegas from everywhere on the floor, Wilson was forced to claw for scraps. That contrast created the perfect storm. The player being celebrated as the league's best was overshadowed by the opponent she was supposed to crush. And instead of walking out with the glory, she walked out pointing fingers. Now here's the real kicker. Wilson's accusation didn't just make headlines, it overshadowed the Fever's monumental upset. What should have been remembered as one of the greatest playoff wins in franchise history suddenly became about referees, corruption, and controversy. Mitchell's masterpiece, Boston's defense, Sims's fire, all of it buried under the weight of Wilson's words. And yet, those words aren't going away. The WNBA is now in a bind. Do they ignore Wilson's claim and hope it blows over? Or do they step in and address it head-on, risking an even bigger scandal? Either way, the damage is done. For a league trying to grow its audience, its MVP accusing referees of rigging the game is a nightmare scenario. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Wilson's frustration could actually fuel the Aces moving forward. Championship teams respond differently to adversity. The Aces know how to make adjustments. And you can bet Game 2 will be personal. Wilson hates being embarrassed. And after being silenced and overshadowed in Game 1, she'll come out swinging. Still, the Fever aren't backing down. They've found their blueprint: defense, pace, and trust in each other. And after proving they can shut down the champions on their own floor, they now head home with momentum and belief. If they win Game 2, this series could tilt completely in their favor. So here's the bottom line. A'ja Wilson may have thought her words were just a post-game vent, but she's ignited a scandal that will follow this series wherever it goes. Did she expose something real, or just let her emotions take over? That's for you to decide. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Wilson right to call out the refs, or did she cross the line by discrediting the Fever's hard-earned win? And if you're still watching, drop rigged or real in the comments so we know you're riding with us to the end. Because one thing's for sure, this series isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about pride, credibility, and the future of the WNBA.
So last night, the Fever did the impossible, and they advanced to the semifinals. And last night I said, why in the F is that security guard all up on Sophie Cunningham? And look, I think there is a reason she got up in Sophie's face. And I don't think there was any need to sort of bow up to Sophie like that.
Sophie Cunningham, wearing a bulky leg brace and nowhere near game ready, should have been celebrating her team's hard-fought playoff win. Instead, she found herself in the middle of a shocking stare-down with league security.
Make a long story short, man, we got to talk about Sophie Cunningham. So Sophie Cunningham suffered a season-ending injury, and I'm here to tell you, bro, we ain't really been making a lot of videos about Sophie. She's just been kind of behind the scenes. Well, last night she let her presence be felt, still showing that she is the enforcer of the team. I mean, standing toe-to-toe with a police officer, standing toe-to-toe, damn near about to charge at a WNBA referee. Sophie cut like that. You want to know why Sophie cut like that? Because she's from my home state. She's from Missouri. She's from the Show Me State.
And when she fired back, the WNBA was thrown into yet another storm. But here's the real question. Was this just one guard going rogue, or was it the latest sign that the league is targeting players who refuse to play by their rules?
The hate is real. The hate is real, Kathy. I see you hating on us from a mile away, Kathy Engelbert. We all see it. You out here finding the one person who's actually bringing money into this league. What a joke. You're mad that the Indiana Fever are here right now. Y'all didn't expect us to get this far. Y'all really didn't expect it. We got Sophie Cunningham exposing the whole league agenda. Exposing them. Caitlin Clark mocking them all on Twitter, all on Instagram, everywhere, because they are jokes.
The Indiana Fever had finally done it. After years of frustration, the franchise secured a playoff win that fans had been dreaming about. Lexi Hull's game-saving steal sealed the deal.
Dream 85. Howard's inbound pass stolen by Hull. Passes to Boston in the backcourt. 3 seconds ago. Sims gets it and is fouled. The Fever are up 86-85 with 1.2 left.
While Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston delivered the kind of clutch performances that make legends.
On the field, now she has second chance banked in by Alicia Gray. This is how quickly Kelsey Mitchell can get down the floor. Team from the floor in game 2. That's terrific call into Boston.
The crowd was on its feet. The team was euphoric, and for once, everything seemed right in Indianapolis. But instead of headlines about grit, resilience, and a long-awaited victory, the spotlight shifted. Cameras caught a surreal moment at midcourt. Sophie Cunningham, clearly injured, standing near her teammates, only to be aggressively approached by a league-hired security guard.
Today during the game, Odyssey Sims went down with an injury. And Sophie Cunningham, being the solid teammate that she was, Sophie, Caitlin, and Chloe, Tres Leches. We got Chloe, Caitlin, and Sophie Cunningham standing at half court, checking up on Odyssey Sims. And here comes the good old security guard. I said this during the live stream. This reminds me of Officer D from the Wayans Bros. If you know, you know. It reminds me of Officer D from the Wayans Bros. If you know, you know. Sophie Cunningham. Oh, she's standing her ground. Look at Tres Leches. They're standing their ground.
Odyssey was holding her right.
Sophie wasn't rushing the floor. She wasn't starting trouble. Yet she was barked at, as if she had stormed the court in the middle of a brawl. Fans watched in disbelief as what should have been a celebration turned into confrontation. The cameras told the story better than words.
Poor Sophie. She got the contraption on. She looks great in a ball cap. Let's just keep it real. And here we go. Right here, she's at midcourt. And then Paula Blart, mall cop. What are you doing? Well, I mean, what you doing? She got a leg brace on. For crying out loud. You come out here trying to be Brody and trying to do something, knowing damn good and well. Look at this police officer sauntering up. What the bleep are you doing?
At first, Sophie looked puzzled, then annoyed, and finally, that unmistakable Cunningham glare, the one fans know well. She didn't shout, she didn't push back physically, but her expression screamed. Really? This is what you're doing right now. Her stance was calm, but firm. She refused to be bullied, even as the guard loomed over her. That quiet defiance was enough to ignite the internet. Within minutes, clips of the stare down went viral.
She's showing concern for her teammates. Like, what is going on? Why is a police officer asking the basketball players to leave the court when they are checking on an injured teammate? Come on, man. That's the weird part. It's not like they're rowdy in some other player's face or causing commotion. They're just checking on their teammate, fam. On a dead play, dead ball.
Hashtags like Free Sophie and WNBA Exposed spread across Twitter and Instagram. Comment sections overflowed with outrage. For fans, this wasn't enforcement, it was harassment, and it fit into a bigger story they'd been noticing all season. This wasn't the first time a WNBA player had been treated differently, depending on whether they fit the league's preferred image.
Holding her right shoulder.
And they like, look, we on our side of the court. We can stand here. Like, you got to chill out, man. Kathy, get it together. Get your security together. Get your referees together. Like, get all this other stuff together, and in order, before you become so worried about fining players $200. You fine Caitlin Clark $200, man. She wipe her, you know what, with that money, man. What are we talking about? As of right now, all we see is you running around trying to find players left and right. That's all we see. That's all we see, bro. I think it's mad corny. It's ridiculous. Kathy Engelbert, you need to be fired. You need to be straight up fired. How dare you? How dare you try to find the GOAT Caitlin Clark? How dare you? She the only reason y'all even making some money nowadays. Y'all was losing $40, $50, $30 million every year. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Better stop playing games.
Caitlin Clark has been shoved, hacked, and taunted more than any rookie in memory, with refs swallowing whistles while the league shrugs. Sophie Cunningham, meanwhile, has long been cast as the villain, confident, unapologetic, outspoken, and unwilling to shrink back when critics want her silent. Fans see the double standards. When Angel Reese or Paige Buchers show fire, the media celebrates it as passion. When Sophie does the same, she's branded a problem. And now, even in a leg brace, simply waiting for her teammate at midcourt, she was treated like a threat. The contrast was too sharp to ignore, and fans didn't. Within hours, social media turned the stare down into one of the most talked about moments of the postseason. People accused the WNBA of singling Sophie out because she doesn't fit their curated narratives. Others pointed out racial and cultural double standards, asking why Sophie's leadership gets villainized while others gets praised. The league, already under fire for its inconsistent officiating, now faced accusations of targeting its own players. Some fans even demanded Commissioner Kathy Engelbert step in, calling the situation an embarrassment for a league trying to prove it's ready for mainstream respect. And through it all, Sophie didn't flinch. Instead of lashing out, Sophie handled the moment the way only she could. She stood her ground, didn't retreat, and later brushed it off with a mix of humor and quiet defiance. In one interview, she joked about sweating through her clothes from nerves, even while downplaying the confrontation. It was classic Cunningham, turning an awkward situation into fuel, showing she won't let anyone else define her story.
And I think, the league is so mad that we won because we're literally not supposed to be here at all. And that just kind of fuels our fire even more. But it was just so fun. It was one of those games that, first of all, I was sweating my ass off because I was so nervous. And I don't really get anxious about stuff. I was so anxious. I could not sit still. I was legit. I felt like I played with how much I was sweating. And so it was one of those games. It was such a good W game. It was physical. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of great plays. But I just knew deep down in my gut that we were going to win.
Fans noticed. They flooded her socials with support, hailing her as the hero of the night. Once again, the league's attempt to diminish her only strengthened her following. But the damage was done. The Fever's win, the heroics of Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell, the steady dominance of Aaliyah Boston, all of it was overshadowed by a viral clip of Sophie Cunningham staring down security. Instead of being celebrated, the league was mocked. Instead of showcasing grit and resilience, the WNBA was accused of selective enforcement and hypocrisy. And for casual fans tuning in because of Caitlin Clark's star power, the message was clear. This league can't get out of its own way. That's the bigger danger here. When fans walk away talking about Sophie versus mall cop antics instead of playoff heroics, the league loses. And if the WNBA wants growth, it cannot afford to keep losing its own biggest moments. So what do you think? Was Sophie Cunningham unfairly targeted? Or was this just one guard stepping out of line? Drop your thoughts below, because this debate isn't dying anytime soon. And if you're still watching, drop Free Sophie in the comments so we know you're part of the real Fever family.